On the planet of Altair 3, the inhabitants have decided to go to war again. It is the Amis versus the Kong. Now, the Amis are a rich and advanced people with more resources and a much larger population. Now, the Amis decided to invade the Kong and force their will on a much smaller nation. So the Kong has the home field advantage, and since they are a poorer people, they are also much tougher. Soft lands make for soft men, and hard lands make for hard men. Now, the Amis wanted to prop up the puppet government, but the leader of the government, Pat Sheen, is not the religion of the nation, and that alone has turned his people against him. Now, Pat has control of the south of his country, but the north, Ben Tai, is the popular leader of his people. So the Amis face guerrilla action in the south and a conventional war in the north. The worst of both worlds for a puppet government on the defensive. But the Amis can spend 100 times what their enemies can spend. So they feel confident in their final victory. And they build a supercomputer to keep score. Now, this supercomputer is fed the information on the war and spits out the results. The computer tells the Amis over its speakers, "You are winning. You are winning. You are winning this war. You are winning. You are winning." They believe what it is saying, and their hearts are filled with joy. Our supercomputer tells us that we're going to win, so therefore we must be winning. And at first it does look like the computer is right. After all, they are inflicting casualties of 10 to 1 on their much smaller enemy. And the computer tells them that the enemy's will is going to break soon, and then they will give up. And the Amis do win every major battle in this war. Oh, they lose a few small engagements, but they have a supercomputer who's telling them that they are winning. And Private Taylor and Private Smith are policing up the room around the supercomputer and talking. Taylor said, "This computer cost 1 million MU, monetary units. I won't make 1 million MU in my lifetime. This computer is really something." Smith said, "The computer is only as good as the person programming it. I wouldn't give 10 cents for this thing." "I don't understand. Machines can't think. If they could, they would have wiped us out and taken over a long time ago. All this thing is doing is telling the generals running the show what they want to hear. After all, men believe what they desire to be true." So you are saying that the computer is lying to us? No, I'm saying that's what's going on is called GIGO. GIGO, what's GIGO? GIGO, garbage in and garbage out. The programmers feed the computer bad information, and the computer will pass this bad information onto those so-called geniuses that call themselves generals, and they believe the lie that we are winning because they want to believe it. So we aren't winning? No, we're losing this war, slowly but surely. How can we be losing it when we're trading the enemy at a 10 to 1 rate? Because the enemy is fighting on their own land, and they will never give up this fight as long as they have a breath left in them. That's why. And the invaders will eventually tire of a foreign war and leave. Do the generals know this? Some of them do, I'm sure, but most of them aren't that clever. But why are the generals going along with this if they know that we're just going to lose eventually? Well, the generals get paid for fighting this war, and many of them are skimming money from the taxpayers while the war is going on. So they're winning or at least they're getting what they want. They are getting more money and more power for themselves. And they still get to keep their cushy jobs even if we lose this war. Taylor is horrified by what he hears and doesn't want to hear any more. For the common man, if you destroy his illusions, you destroy his happiness. So Taylor says that he doesn't want to talk anymore and that they should just get back to work, and they do. So the war continues, and it turns out just as Smith said. The armies got tired of the war, and they eventually left. And its puppet regime was overthrown, and Pot fled the country with as much of the treasury as he could carry. And now his nemesis Ben sat on the throne. And the army supercomputer was captured, and Ben decided to turn it into a war trophy. He put it in his home and would invite his friends over to listen to the computer. And they would turn it on, and the computer would say, "You are winning. You are winning. You are winning this war. You are winning. You are winning. You are going to win." And Ben and his friends would just laugh